Hello everyone, it's Samantha here of Samantha Sutherland, Art and Books. How are you doing this evening? First of all, I would like to say I am very, very sorry. I know I said at Halloween, when I did my Halloween video, that I'd be back in a couple of weeks, and I haven't been. Unfortunately, I have been really ill with an IBS flare-up and a few other chronic illness problems and problems and fatigue. So even though I wanted to make a video, I really wasn't in the headspace or the comfort level to make a video. And then I kind of started to think, maybe I should just give up on making videos. I was going to, but I really like making videos. It's just trying to find the time to be able to sit down and make one and then edit it and everything. And so my videos might be a little bit basic for a little while because I am fighting a lot of fatigue at the moment. It's probably because of the weather and the joint pains, and I've injured myself somehow. I don't know what I've done. I've done something to my neck and my shoulder, so hooray. And I have so much I need to get done in the house. My husband's also gone and slightly injured himself as well, so I was thinking that my channel might end up being a bit boring because I can't really buy any more art materials until we've got the spare room sorted out, and I can't really buy any more books, although it's not actually stopped me until I get the spare room sorted out. But I can kind of find places to put them. There's a few places I'm looking at across from me right now, luckily. But yeah, we still need to do a lot in the house. So I figured, instead of just kind of quitting the channel, keep it going, because there's going to be days where I can't do anything and I can't go anywhere, and I've been sat reading and I want to share it with someone, and that someone is you. I like to share what I'm reading with those of you who watch my channel. And I'm really sorry, I know you didn't click on to hear an "Oh woe is me" video, but it's not an all a "oh woe is me" video. This is just me explaining a few things. If you're new here, I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, I have fibromyalgia, and I have IBS, to name a few things. Also, I had an operation in May, which meant I had most of my pancreas removed. I'm still seeing specialists about that. I'm still having scans for that. In fact, I've got another one coming up, possibly maybe this week, maybe next week, I'm not sure. So yeah, it's been a long and tiring couple of months, and I just, yeah. So I've been watching lots of YouTube, I've been watching lots of films, I've been doing reading when I'm able to, drinking lots of tea, but that's about it, really. So enough of the like I said, the oh moment. How about I start with two finishes? The first finish is the Healing Season of Pottery, which I absolutely loved, because that's what you're here for. You're here for the books. You're not here to hear me go on about how yeah, you don't want to hear all that stuff. I am sorry, but I just wanted to explain why I've not been around, and also it will explain why there may be long periods of silence from me for a few months, at least until after Christmas, maybe. And I'll probably get to that if I remember before I finish this video. But yes, so my first finish is the Healing Season of Pottery. I forgot who wrote the book. But what I'll do is I will put a link to the book or anything I talk about under the in the description box under the video. I absolutely loved this. My daughter also loved it too. She listened to it and really, really enjoyed it. It's an absolutely beautiful book. It's about a burnt out news writer called Jung Min, and it's set in Seoul in Korea. She abruptly quits her job that she's worked tirelessly for years, and she needs to make a change. And now, after months of hibernation, it's time to put her life back together. And so she's walking past what she thinks is a coffee shop, and she goes in, and it's not, it's a pottery studio that just happens to serve really good coffee. And she's drawn in by the warmth and the smell of the clay and the coffee. And she starts to feel herself kind of relax and come out of hibernation. She's had to move into this apartment, which she falls in love with because of the outside of the building. It's in an area with these beautiful trees, which are quite famous. And you can tell I really, really enjoyed this book because I'm telling you a lot. I'm not telling any spoilers or anything, I promise. But basically, pot by pot, as it's put, and plate by plate, Jung Min discovers that as her hands become busier, her mind becomes calmer, and her heart opens up like never before. She learns to make new friends. She learns patience and calmness, and the pottery heals her as she's creating these works of clay. I would give it 10 out of 10. I absolutely loved it. It's a beautiful story, and yeah, it really is. It's absolutely beautiful, and I want a hard copy so I can read it myself, which I don't know if it's on my wish list on Amazon, but it will be by the end of the week. I definitely want to have a read of that myself. Also, Pumpkin Spice Cafe. I did not enjoy this. I did not like it. I know loads of people absolutely love it, and I was hoping to absolutely love it. However, I was a bit bored. To me, the main character, she comes across as like a high school student with a crush on the popular boy. It was a bit cringe. I didn't like it. The characters, they just seemed a bit annoying to me, especially the main character. And so I got my credit back and got my daughter Frightful First World War, Horrible Histories. And then I got, I think it is The Book You Want is in the Library, or something along the title of that. Another, it's a Japanese to English translated book, I think. Yeah, it is. The reason being is because I did not like the narrator. She annoyed me. I ended up getting my credit back. Now, I didn't know you could get a credit back. I knew you could get a refund, but I didn't know you could get a refund of your credit. So that's what I did with these two particular books, and I got my daughter something on Horrid History Second World War. She's listened to them multiple times and she loves the Horrible History series. So every time the narrator said Tokyo, she didn't say Tokyo, she said Tokyo. Tokyo this and Tokyo that. It just really annoyed me. And I just couldn't get past the way she pronounced Tokyo. It's not hard, Tokyo, and she pronounced it Tokyo, and it just annoyed me. It might just be me, but I found it really irritating. So I got my credit back. I did, however, spend my credit on something pretty cool, and I'll show you in a minute. But I have a physical finish, which is My Best Friend's Exorcism. This book packs all the magic of a summer horror flick. Horror school. High school sophomores Abby and Gretchen have been best friends since 4th grade, but after an evening of skinny dipping goes disastrously wrong, and oh boy does it. Gretchen begins to act different. She's moody, she's irritable, and bizarre incidents keep happening whenever she's nearby. And they definitely do. Abby's investigation leads her to some startling discoveries, and by the time their story reaches its terrifying conclusion, the fate of Abby and Gretchen will be determined by a single question: is their friendship powerful enough to beat the devil? Like an unholy hybrid of Beaches and The Exorcist. My best friend, I nearly said wedding, my best friend's exorcism, oh Samantha, come on, blends teen angst, adolescent drama, unspeakable horrors, and a mix of 80s pop songs into pulse-pounding supernatural thriller. It was a page turner. I absolutely loved this book. I'd seen it all over BookTok for a while now. It's by Grady Hendrix. I fell for it because the nerd in me that loves the 80s loved the cover of this book, which looks like an 80s VHS cover. But yes, it has vibes of Jennifer's Body. If you've ever seen Jennifer's Body with Megan Fox, which is where she is, sacrificed, but she doesn't quite die, but she becomes possessed. It kind of reminds me a little bit about that, with her and the character of Needy. I forgot what Megan Fox is. Jennifer. What was the character's name? Jennifer's Body. Yeah, so the characters are very, very like Needy and Jennifer from Jennifer's Body. I really liked Needy. She was awesome. But yeah, they just go to a friend's house, and they go to the friend's lake house, and they go skinny dipping. And she spends hours trying to find her. When she does find her, she notices her friend is very, very different. And in the early days of the possession, it's not exactly a spoiler because it's called My Best Friend's Exorcism, and if there wasn't a possession, there wouldn't need to be an exorcism, would there? She notices her friend is just acting very different, and so there's a little bit of body horror in the writing. There is horror. It's definitely a book that if you like horror, I can recommend it. If you want something cheesy, easy to read. I mean, it took me like altogether 3.5-ish days to read, even though Goodreads said, I think it says I started it like 16th, 17th of October or something, and ended just before Halloween. I finished it all together in about 3 hours and 3 hours and a half. I thoroughly enjoyed it because I couldn't put the book down, and as a dyslexic, the fact I could read it so fast, and because the text was really, really easy and clear to read, so it made it a lot easier. And because it was quite it's a bigger book than normal. I'll show you what I mean. So yeah, because it's a slightly bigger book than normal, the layout of the text and everything, I think that really helped. But I really enjoyed this, and I can give this a really, really high marks for this book. Loved this so much. There is a film that they made from the book, so I will be watching that at some point, and I'll let you know what I think of the film. So far from the trailer, it looks kind of pretty good casting and stuff, along with the plot of the book, but I won't know to actually watch it even. This, I think, would be a reread for me probably in a year or so, probably around Halloween time again. Thoroughly enjoyed this. Absolutely loved it. It was brilliant. So yes, I know I tend to say that about all the books I read, but this one, it was just what I was in the mood for. Something cheesy, something silly, something creepy and scary and suspenseful, and this book definitely had it. And because I'd read this, I felt a bit spoilt, because I then went into a book slump and I was kind of moping, thinking what I'm going to read now, because I started to read Blood on Satan's Claw, and I just didn't want to read folk horror. I wanted to read horror. I've been bitten by the horror book bug. So I was on BookTube, and I think the channel's name is Book in Hand. I think I will double check that, and I'll put the name of it underneath this video. And she was going through the favourite books of hers that were creepy, and this was the one that came up. There's between this one and 2 others, but this one was the cheapest in the listing on Amazon, so I went for the cheapest one, hoping it would be good. And to be honest, I'm hooked. I read the first, well, it'd be like a prologue, and I kind of thought, I don't really care about ice cream parlours and stuff. And then I started reading the first chapter, and I've been hooked ever since. I'm on chapter, I have no idea, chapter 4, and I'm on page 116, nearly 117. So I've got just over 40 pages left of chapter 4 before I get to chapter 5. Completely went in blind with this one. So this one is by Dathan Auerbach. I think that's how you say this person's name. I've probably massacred Kitty's name, to be honest, but very creepy. Lots of suspense. Really has got me hooked. Oh, excuse me. Not on since I had tea. Yeah, I really enjoyed this book, and I can't wait to finish it. So I'm, like I said, about 116 pages in. I've not finished it yet. But I will do. And when I do, I will let you know what I thought of it. But the plot is, in an attempt to make sense of his own mysterious and unsettling childhood memories, a man begins to reconstruct his past as the games and adventures of his youth become engulfed by a larger story. He finds that it forms a tapestry of unbelievable horror that he never could have expected. Each chapter completes a different piece of the puzzle for both you and the narrator. By the end of it all, you will wish that you could have forget what he never knew. It starts with him as a child in kindergarten, and it's set somewhere in America, in a forest near his home, sort of thing. Like he sleepwalks and he ends up in a forest. It's very weird. But they do a pen pal project at school, and they all send off a letter on a balloon with their picture in an envelope attached to it, so it can explain to the person who finds it what they're doing. And everyone gets letters back, or more or less everybody. He doesn't. He gets photographs back, and when he puts them all together, it's when the nightmare begins, and it's very creepy. And I just got past boxes, and oh my god, I couldn't put it down. I got to the next chapter, which is maps, and I thought I've got to go to bed. Again, I couldn't put it down. It's really got me hooked. It's very, very good. So I will let you know what I think of that when I finished it. So yeah. So interesting book selection so far. I'll be back in just a minute. As usual, I am running my daughter's bath whilst I'm catching a few minutes. And I just had to make sure I hadn't flooded the bathroom, which I nearly done a couple of times. Where was I? Yeah. So I was watching CriminOlly, and he did I think it's a countdown of something like Goodreads best books or something. And this came after I had bought pen pal and that had arrived. I've been on and on about this for a little while. I don't know if I'm ever going to get around to reading it this year, which I don't think I am. I'm not too sure yet. But I bought Mexican Gothic. I thought I'd give it a chance. So Sylvia Moreno Garcia wrote this. It's Lovecraft meets the Brontes in Latin America. And to be honest, I don't know anything about this book. I do, however, know that it's some booktubers like it, some don't. Some have kind of found it a bit meh. So I thought I would give it a chance, to be honest, because I was just really in the mood for something spooky to read, and I figured, why not give it a go? Fans of Gothic classics like Rebecca will be enthralled. Darkly brilliant and captivating. We'll see. But there's a big huge blurb on the back, but if you want to know what it is, you can go on Amazon and look for it. But yeah, I might read it in the new year. I might wait till next Halloween. I'm not quite sure yet. I might do another Halloween, Summerween to Halloween. I kind of brought it down by so many books down, literally, to be honest, to one book, because I started, well, I have two actually, because I read The Frighteners by Peter Laws, which I really, really enjoyed, and then I started reading My Best Friend's Exorcism. So that's my Summerween to Halloween done, because I finished that literally just going on to Halloween. Like I said, I absolutely loved that book. But yeah, I did buy another book, which was Dr. Bird's Advice for Sad Poets, I think it is, which is a YA book aimed at 14 plus. I did start reading it and it is quite interesting, but it wasn't a horror book. It's another contemporary one. I know I said I was more of a classics girl, but I just kind of fancied reading some contemporary books. Talking of, when I got my new credit from Audible, I bought I got a book. I also bought the hard copy of it. It's only a small book. The reason why I might not get round to reading, ow, sorry, my neck is really sore today, Mexican Gothic, is because on Christmas Day I'm thinking of starting this. Now I have got the Audible one, and it's this exact copy that I got Audible of. It's very heavy, this, because in 2025 Theatre at the Cinema, or whatever they call it, are going to be showing a 20-something, I think it's the 20th anniversary maybe, of Les Mis, the stage production, which I watched one Christmas or Boxing Day, whatever it was. I was bored and I thought, I'm going to turn it off in a few minutes. It's bound to be a load of rubbish. And I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Watched it to the end. And so I would absolutely love to see it live at the theatre, but as that's not really going to be an easy option, I figured the cinema will be the next best place. Now, only if I can find a day showing. So far, I've only found evening showings at local cinemas. I'm not very good in the evenings. I get very, very, very tired in the evenings. In fact, I'm usually falling asleep now. Tomorrow night, I'll be comatose after. I've got hydrotherapy tomorrow, so it's my first one, and I will be comatose. I usually am. Also, I forgot to show you, I got this, which is a bookmark, as you can see, which says I'm in my classics era. Now, I bought this knowing that I was at some point going to be reading this book. I also got another one, which I bought for when I was reading My Best Friend's Exorcism. However, I finished reading it before the bookmark came. It says I'm in my horror era, which goes in my copy of Pen Pal. Now, I got these from What Victoria Read on Etsy. All proceeds go to the charity she's picked for this year, and I think it's like a food bank for the homeless or something along those lines. I can't quite remember. So yeah, I bought two. And I've already got the Agatha Christie one. So, well, I say the Agatha Christie one. It's the tea and crime one, which I think that's the one. I am still reading, she says, my year of Agatha Christie, but I don't seem to be getting very far. I just got very, very distracted with this, and now I'm distracted with this. I monogamously read this. It's the only book I read at the time. And this, again, is the only book I'm reading at the moment with that. I am listening to it still. I've got 36-ish hours left. And talking of, I was listening to it in the car. However, because and I thought that was perfect because obviously this is a classic. Because I listen to Audible in the car, because our car, I'm trying to get a thumbnail. I want this to be the thumbnail. We'll see. Because the chapters are very long with it, it's kind of a stop-start thing, and it's getting a bit annoying. So I thought I need something that is shorter, and I can probably get through whilst on the school run, waiting for my husband to come back with my daughter. So I really wanted to have a go at reading Peter Law's crime novels that he's written. It's to do the first one. It's called Purged. It's to do with, I think it's Matt Hunter, and it's to do with a serial killer. So far, it's very interesting. I didn't buy the book, but I did get the Audible copy of it as part of my my account with Audible. That one's free. The other ones you have to pay all buy with credit. So I thought I'd try out his first one, and so far there's been quite a lot of laughter. It is quite serious in places as well. It's not all funny because obviously it's a crime book about a serial killer. It's just it's very good. The main character, is it Matt Hunt? I think it is. He's very funny. He was a vicar. He's a lapsed vicar. I think obviously he's obviously lost his faith somewhere along the way. He sometimes helps out the police, and he's married with stepkids. And I've not got very far yet. I'm on chapter 6, I think it is. So that's pretty good, because it's nice and easy to listen to in the car. Plus, also, I'm more likely to be able to listen to big chunks of it, and kind of, if I'm too late before my daughter gets into the car to turn it off, if I do that with it and she hears any of it, it's going to freak her out. So I'm leaving it for home and Purged for in the car. And I am enjoying it. It's very good so far. Like I said, I'm into chapter 6. It's quite good. I'd say it's probably running out to about, I don't know, I can't really give it stars. I don't know, 3.5, maybe 4 so far. I don't know. I won't know till I've finished it. But I am finding it quite interesting. The writing style is very good. It's definitely very Peter Lorre. You can kind of hear him as you're reading it. The narrator's very good. I do like the person narrating it. And so yeah, I was really impressed with Frighteners. As you remember, I gave it full stars. So I don't know if I will with Purged, but we'll see. But so far, I'm really enjoying it. And I'm enjoying watching Into the Fog as well, which reminds me, I've still got the new video to watch. But the thing is, I was reading Into Pen Pal, and I was watching. I had Into the Fog on in the background, and I was getting creeped out, so I had to turn it off and put something else on. So that's what I'm listening to on Audible. But yeah, back to Les Miserables. As I was saying, there's an anniversary showing of Les Mis at the theatre, which they're putting into cinemas. So I want to see if I can get this read by, it's going to be on like March or April time. I'm not sure. I know it's a good couple of months into the new year. So I figured maybe listening to Les Mis and reading it at the same time, with it being over 1,000 pages, being dyslexic and reading a tome like this, I've always shied away from. I mean, I've only been diagnosed as dyslexic for about 12-ish years. No one ever thought to test me whilst I was at school, which would have explained so much. But yes, I will be reading this along with the Audible book, and I want to start this on Christmas Day. I want to do a really interesting, hopefully interesting, Christmas into New Year challenge, and this is my challenge because it's very big, and I really want to give it a good old crack. So yeah, I have been watching and also the reasons, because I've been inspired. I've been inspired by Tristan and the Classics and Nicole from A Day of Small Things. Yeah, I've been inspired by those two. It's Dr. Bird's Advice for Sad Poets. I may have got that wrong when I it was Day of Small Things. I may have got it wrong when I mentioned the title of the book, the YA book. There is a film, but I've got the film on my list on Prime, but I thought, I wonder if there's a book, because the film does look interesting. So if I might end up watching the film before reading the book, which I don't mind doing, but yeah. But I've been watching quite a lot of BookTube lately. So I've been watching A Day of Small Things, which is Nicole, as you know. CriminOlly, who is Oliver. I really enjoy his videos. Excuse me. He likes to do videos on mystery books, pulp books, horror, that sort of thing. Rammel Broadcasting. His kind of interest area is post-apocalyptic and some horror as well, I think. A bit of sci-fi. A very casual librarian, so congratulations to Ange, who's now a full-fledged librarian who's going to be working in an amazing library. Also, I have been watching books I can't read. I really enjoy Kelly's videos. I've also been watching Reading the Past with Dr. Cat, being a history nerd. I've really been enjoying. I've been binge watching a few of her videos because I've missed quite a few. And I'm all caught up with Nicole's videos of her time at uni. She's doing uni reading vlog style videos, which I'm finding really interesting. In fact, the book that I want to buy is a book of Arthurian poetry, I think it is, yeah, that she's mentioned that she's actually reading at Durham University, and it does sound interesting. And I never thought I would actually want to read Middle English poetry, but I'm going to be buying that this week. I also want to get Canterbury Tales. I've been wanting to get that for a while. So that's another book I'd like to have a go at. I've been watching Sam Walks a lot, who has been so very lucky that she's been in Australia, and it sounds like she's absolutely had a blast, which is it's my bucket list to go to. Although I want to go to Hanging Rock. That's because I saw the film and I fell in love with the film, even though I when I was watching it, I got slightly confused watching it. It's a very good folk horror kind of beautiful film, and I really enjoyed watching it. I want to watch it again, so I want to give that another watch. In fact, I want to watch Macbeth as well with Michael Fassbender, which I'm hoping to do at some point this week, hopefully. So yes, I really enjoyed Sam's history. Try again. Sam's video. She did one in Australia. I think that was the Halloween special, I think, wasn't it? But it was brilliant, and oh god, the scenery is just gorgeous. So welcome back to the UK after your lovely trip to Australia. I wish I could have gone to. I've always wanted to visit Australia. So yes, I've been watching that, and also I've been watching the Cobwebs Channel, who is Daniel, and Into the Fog with Peter Laws. Yeah, so they're the ones I've mainly been watching. I've been watching Kriksis as well. I always enjoy watching Kriksis, and I've been watching the shorts that Emily Powell's been putting out. And monkeymintaka, who did a art haul. She thinks it's going to be the last one for this year. I said that about books. I said I'm not buying any more books. I'm looking to buy one more this week, so if you give me a minute, I won't be a minute. Sorry, I'm back. I was just checking on the bath. It's nearly ready. So yeah, I want to. Yeah, I was inspired by Tristan and the classics, and I really enjoy watching Tristan's videos. And also Dave Small Things, because I really want to have a go at reading something big and thick. This is definitely big and thick. Because also in the new year, I'm really hoping that we have our daughter in her bigger room and I get that room back, which I'm going to very carefully plot what I want in that room. There'll be both me and my husband in there, not always at the same time, but sometimes at the same time. And I need it to be an art studio as well as a library. But also in the new year, I want to resit my English GCSE. Now, it's not an interesting story, probably. You might... No, I'll tell you anyway. But when I was in nursery school, this teacher said to my mum, who when she came to pick me up, I wanted to know why I was sat in the corner by myself. she said, oh, she's a bit stupid. Well, not stupid, she's a bit thick, doesn't understand directions very well. Yeah. I was 4. And so she said, so I put her in the corner with a box of crayons and some paper, and she's been drawing all afternoon. She's quite happy. She called me thick to my mum over my head. And yeah, that's stuck in my head. So I'm just wondering how much that kind of meant that I didn't do more academic courses, because my favourite class at school was, and still is, it's English. I loved doing English. I was introduced to Shakespeare with GCSE. My love of Midsummer Night's Dream comes from me being a first year at my old school, which was Coney Green in Redcliffe. And I always kind of went towards art classes. Now I love art, and that's always been a passion of mine anyway. And it's actually it's been a really interesting journey being a amateur artist, because it's got me to join the sewing group at the Jewish Museum, and I have exhibited with the ladies there. We did a project with Law Provost, I think that's how you say her name. There is a video somewhere at the beginning of all these that does talk about that somewhere, I think. Which was, she's a former Turner Prize winner, and it was very interesting working with her. And we've also had our work exhibited in different places, so it's been really great. But I've always wanted to do more academic stuff. But when I do, I started an art history degree at uni, and I dropped out. And I'm just wondering how much that teacher said has affected me throughout the years and my confidence with academics. So I want to resit my English GCSE and then see where I go from there. And if I'm able to actually even sit it, to be honest, what with things like the maths fatigue and now suffer and things like that. So that's what I want to do in the new year. And I also just want to read more classics. I'm really enjoying the classics, and I've got quite a few older books in my collection, which I want to be able to show on a nice bookshelf somewhere. So that's what I'm hoping to do in the new year, and lots and lots of reading, and hopefully do lots more art as well, because hopefully I'll have that room sorted out. So yeah, that's really everything. I'm so sorry that I've been away for so long, and I'm hoping that it won't be as long until I put up the next video. And I know I need to stop being a perfectionist. That's the problem. I've tried to make this video about 7 or 8 times. I've deleted it each and every time because I just didn't like it. And I did record this previously when my husband went to pick up my daughter, but I rushed it because I literally had like 10-15 minutes before they came back. Hang on 1 minute. Sorry about that. My daughter wanted to excitedly tell me about her ukulele practice. I bought a ukulele last week. She's been wanting one for ages, since she did it at school, but she doesn't want to join the club because she doesn't like being in a performance in public sort of thing. So she's teaching herself ukulele. So yeah. Where was I? But yeah, I want to resit my English GCSE next year. I really, really want to get that room sorted out, and I do want to keep making videos, and I will keep making videos. It's just that I was a little bit down last week. When you in a lot of pain, everything seems harder than it is, and just more like, well, kind of like you don't want to do it, but you do. I can't really explain it, but yeah, I'm not quite sure when the next video is going to be, because I have physio twice a week at the moment. Next week won't be as busy, hopefully, but I'm hoping to get some clearing done, books in boxes, that sort of thing, ready to store and hold somewhere. Yeah, and then we're thinking of getting someone in to decorate for us, prepping the area, and then they can take over and do the rest, because we do need a lot. So it might be quicker if someone else does it for us. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there for now. I'd like to get that room in there sorted out so that I can get the bookshelves that I want, and I can start doing canvas painting again, and because I've not really got a huge amount of space at all anywhere, and we just have so much to do in the house, and you know how just everything gets kind of piled on top of you, and sort of stop with the oh woe is me. I do apologize. Anyway, if you have made it this far, thank you very, very much for watching my video. If you fancy leaving an emoji, how about as it's getting to Christmas, Christmas tree, or I don't know, or anything. Say hello, wave, I don't know. But if you want to subscribe, hopefully I'll have another video out in a week or two. I'll say a maximum of 2 weeks, hopefully. That way I will have finished Pen Pal, and I can let you know how it goes. And remember, you can find me here on YouTube. You can find me on Facebook, of which is slowly growing. So I've got a whole 3 likes for my page, which is kind of cool. You can find me on Instagram, which I do post quite a bit over on Instagram. I'm trying to do it once a week. I tend to do it once every week or so, or when I get something new, like a new book or something. So you can find me on there, and also on Goodreads. So on that note, good reading to you. Have a great week, and have a great reading week. And I hope whatever you're reading is just as good as what I'm reading. Why don't you let me know what you're reading in the comments under the video, or what you're planning to read? Do you have a TBR? Do you have a TBR for 2025? I don't. I'm not doing the TBR this time. I've done away with TBRs because I don't see the point, because I just never stick to them, and I've got all of these books and I want to read all of them, and I never know what to read next. So yeah, so no more TBRs. I'm a mood reader, so we'll see what I'm in the mood for next. So like I said, good reading to you. Stay warm, stay cozy, stay safe, and happy reading to you. So I will see you all hopefully a lot sooner than it has been in the last few weeks. Until then, I'll see you all later on. So yes, I'll try and stop being so, what's the word, perfect, and stop with the perfectionism. And I'm just going to upload this video and see how it all goes. I will see you all very, very soon. It's lovely to have you all here, and I hope you come back again soon. So have a great week, everyone. I'll see you later. Bye bye.